Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning. The heat wave continues, and could it actually get worse before it gets better? As everyone in the state is asked to conserve energy, the California Independent System Operator warns of rotating blackouts. We'll tell you what to expect coming up.
Meantime, the heat wave is hitting businesses where it hurts after spending thousands to move services outside. How they're enduring, coming up.
And the Democratic National Convention kicks off virtually. We'll have the messages from the first night as the party prepares to officially nominate Joe Biden. This is Tuesday, August 18th, 2020. And because of those high temperatures, a statewide flex alert remains in effect through tomorrow as that heat wave continues. A statewide flex alert is in effect, and the California Independent System Operator is calling for voluntary electricity conservation every day from 3 to 10 p.m. You're asked to set your thermostats to 78 degrees, turn off unnecessary lights, unplug unused electrical devices, and use fans when possible. Yesterday, the California Independent System Operator announced rotating blackouts to more than 3 million California homes, but utilities did not have to flip the switch because of slightly lower temperatures and customer conservation, according to ISO. But today, ISO is forecasting a major energy shortage as we could reach a historical peak in demand. In case your power does go out, here are a few tips from the American Red Cross. Be sure to have an emergency preparedness kit with first aid supplies, emergency food and water, and batteries. Have an evacuation plan for your family and pets. If your fridge has no power, you can fill coolers with ice and store food there. Keeping the fridge and freezer closed as much as possible can help preserve food for up to 2 days, depending on how full your refrigerator is. These outages aren't expected to last nearly that long if they happen at all. Use flashlights and not candles if you need some light to avoid a fire. And do not travel if you don't have to, especially by car. Streetlights and traffic stops may not be working. You can find the full list of tips on our website, kget.com.
If you need a cool place to stay, several local cooling centers will be open today due to the triple-digit heat. Keep in mind, there are health and safety precautions in place due to the pandemic. You were asked to bring your own water, snacks, and activities and wear a mask. Cooling centers open when the temperature is forecasted to be 105 or hotter in the valley areas, 108 or hotter in the desert, and 95 or hotter in the mountain areas. Now, you can find the nearest cooling center on our website, kget.com. And everyone is being asked to save energy, including the DMV. That's why the department announced its offices will close early for the next few days. DMV offices will be closing at 3 p.m. today and tomorrow. Anyone will be allowed in until around 2:30 so they can help as many people as possible. But people with appointments scheduled after 2:30 will be contacted to reschedule.
And now to the latest on the coronavirus here in Kern County. 218 new cases were announced yesterday, and that brings our total above 26,000 who have been positive for the virus in Kern County since the pandemic started. Nearly 18,000 cases are considered active right now. Most of those people are recovering at home. 248 are being treated in the hospital. No new deaths were reported in the last 3 days. Our death toll stands at 204. A reminder that federal test site at the fairgrounds is still open. So far, the site has tested more than 5,300 people. It will continue testing through Friday. Anyone who wants to be tested at that surge site can schedule an appointment at kerncounty.com. Self-swabbing tests are provided and considered less invasive than others. All tests at this site are free, and testing results are available within 3 to 5 days.
For those who have already survived COVID-19, there's a way to help people who are hospitalized with coronavirus in our local hospitals. You can donate your plasma. Houchin Community Blood Bank says more than 280 people have donated, but according to Kern Public Health, more than 8,000 people have recovered from the virus. The blood bank is still offering survivors a $50 gift card to donate. For more information on how you can donate, call 616-2575 or visit their website at hcbb.com. And just a reminder, if you've recently tested positive for coronavirus, you can self-report your case. It cuts down on the lag time it takes for results to get back to the local health department, and they can start notifying others who may have been exposed. Just head to our website, kget.com, and click on the hot link icon to find that form and fill it out.
At least half of the immigrants detained at the Mesa Verde Detention Center in Bakersfield have tested positive for COVID-19. We reported last week that a federal judge in San Francisco ordered testing for all detainees at the facility after a lawsuit by a coalition that included the San Francisco Public Defender's Office and the ACLU. The ACLU obtained emails that showed Immigration and Customs Enforcement, as well as the facility's operator, Geo Group, did not test detainees during an outbreak. According to attorneys, at least 56 detainees have tested positive out of the 104 who are still being held there. 140 staff members at the Mesa Verde will be tested as well as part of the judge's order. ICE had no comment on the situation. And an update now on the possibility of a mask mandate in Delano. The city of Delano has decided to wait on that mask mandate. The issue was on the council agenda last night. Council members voted 3-2 to hold a special meeting to discuss the mandate again, but no date for the meeting has been set.
Police say officer shot a man dead after he stabbed 2 people in southeast Bakersfield yesterday afternoon. Police blocked the entire intersection at Brundage Lane and P Street to investigate after the shooting. BPD says a man and a woman were stabbed at a market on the corner of Watts Drive and Lotus Lane. BPD says after the stabbing, the suspect carjacked another victim and drove off, hit another car on the way before being stopped at Brundage and P Street. That's when the shooting happened.
The subject was transported to an area hospital where he succumbed to his injuries and was pronounced deceased.
The suspect has not been identified. Police say 2 knives were found on him after the shooting. The 2 people stabbed at Watts did not have serious wounds, according to police, and the carjacking victim declined medical treatment. BPD says they will review body camera video and other footage to investigate the shooting.
5:08 your time now. The Taft Police Department is remembering one of its own. Reserve Officer Guillermo Osegueda died yesterday after battling an existing medical condition. Taft police say that Officer Osegueda was affectionately known as OC and had worked with the department since 2016. He also worked for the University of Southern California Campus Police Department. He leaves behind a wife and 4 children. Still ahead, talk about adding salt to a wound. Businesses spent thousands to move operations outside, and now triple-digit temperatures are keeping customers away.
We'll talk to some business owners to see what they're doing to stay afloat.
Welcome back, and yes, we're talking extreme heat, not only here, but out in Death Valley. The high yesterday, 127 degrees. That was a few degrees cooler than the 130 they hit on Monday, but definitely hot. So something that we could be happy about, that we're not reaching these type of temperatures. As we take a look outside, we've got mostly clear skies and a temperature right now of 83 degrees. We've got 62 on the dew point, south-southwest wind at 3. The sun will be up soon. And as we take a look at where we should be, again, 96 is the normal high this time of year. Overnight so far, we're at 83. We should be at 69. And the record on this date set back in 1942 when we hit 110 degrees. Here's a look at the numbers, 70s and 80s for the valley right now. We've got 60s for Fraser Park, Pine Mountain Club, and Tehachapi, 79 Lake Isabella, and already we're looking at 86 in Ridgecrest. Here's a look at the satellite and radar. Not much to show you. We've seen a few high clouds drift through overnight, but that is it. And as we take a look at the regional view, a lot of this moisture is offshore right now, but we will watch for a little moisture to the south throughout the afternoon, and that could drift a little bit more to the north, bringing another round of possible thunderstorms out in the desert and into the mountains. We're sitting at 75 in Sacramento right now, Fresno at 83. We've got 70s down to the south. Vegas hot right now at 91. And here's a look at the daytime highs. 107 Sacramento, Fresno at 110, 115 out of Vegas, and down in Southern California, Los Angeles will be right near 80 by this afternoon with San Diego at 83. Here's what's going on, and guess what? We're tracking Genevieve right now. Winds at 130 miles per hour, drifting in a northwest direction at 16. This is a Category 4 storm. It is just making its way past Mexico and going to make its way more northerly in the coming days. Now, Saturday, it will become an area of low pressure, but we're going to have to watch the moisture from this. Doesn't look like it'll hit any landfall, but it could, again, wrap around this anchored ridge of high pressure. So we're going to have to watch this carefully. But in the short term, it's just something we're going to watch. Yes, today will be day 10 of heat wave number 6. We'll look for a mountain and desert thunderstorm that could develop. Excessive heat warning again until Thursday. And the Kern County Air Quality Alert is also in place through Wednesday. So here's a look at the daytime highs today. Expecting Bakersfield near 109, 108 in Delano, 107 out in Taft, under mostly sunny skies. Into the mountains, mostly sunny, except that slight risk of a thunderstorm. 99 in Fraser Park, along with Tehachapi, 108 today, Lake Isabella. And then out in the desert, look at Ridgecrest. They're going to be near 114, 109 out in Mojave. Here's a look at that extended forecast. And tomorrow, we're looking at 108. And then a little bit cooler by Thursday, 103, and then Saturday, Sunday, Monday near 104. Into the mountains, we're going to keep you into the 90s across the board. After today, we pull back on any chance of thunderstorm activity. And then for the Kern River Valley, tomorrow we start a little bit of a cool down and then lower 100s Thursday through Monday. So the heat wave continues, just slightly cooler as we round out the work week.
All right, still ahead, we're on day 10 of this triple-digit heat wave, and local businesses are really feeling the pain of operating outside while helping customers stay cool. Taylor Schaub joins us with that story, and good morning, Taylor.
Well, good morning, Maddie. As if the coronavirus pandemic hasn't given business owners enough to contend with, this week's heat wave is adding an unforeseen wrinkle, one that's hitting them square in the pocket. As the sun beats down on Bakersfield, most people are staying home to beat the intense heat. But local business owners are left feeling stuck, having to spend to stay open.
It's very hard for us.
Kevin Nguyen runs Crown Royal Nail Lounge. He spent a small fortune to keep his customers cool.
I would say labor and all material, everything is $15,000.
Nguyen already had to shut down 2 of his salons due to the pandemic, turning his focus to his Stockdale location, where the longtime contractor has converted his back parking lot into a fully operational business, using stadium-sized air-conditioned units, dozens of misters, and outdoor installation to make a scorching 105 feel like 85.
It's for everyone's safety. It's just not for, like, what about making money or doing business, but if the community's safe, that means I'm safe.
Down the road at Wicky's Wine Dive and Grill, owner Michael Earhart says the heat wave is burning away business.
And we've got coolers and everything, but it's getting to the point where, you're hitting 109 degrees. It's still pretty tough on you to come out and eat.
He too has spent thousands just to keep the doors open, but over the past week, lunchtime has often felt lifeless.
You try and adjust everything you're doing to fit financially and to people. And then when this happens, it's just another change. It's a whole new thing that you have to deal with.
Describing the recent stretch as yet another gut punch in a year that won't let up.
It's not only a gut punch. Sometimes you feel like you get back up and they get hit by a 2x4 afterwards. It's something. I'll be happy when 2020 is over.
But despite the added cost, both owners tell me that they are committed to staying open and serving their customers. In Southwest Bakersfield, Taylor Schaub, 17 News.
Welcome back. The weather has been doing no one any favors, especially while firefighters are battling blazes up and down the state and thunderstorms up north sparking more fires. And the heat wave making conditions worse down south. We now know at least one of those fires could be arson. Police in Azusa say this man, Osman Palencia, turned himself in after he was accused of starting the 3,000-acre ranch fire. Police said Palencia is transient and lived at an encampment in the Azusa Canyon riverbed near the area where the fire started. It's burning in the southern end of the San Gabriel Mountains just east of Burbank, and it's 19% contained. Meantime, the lake fire has grown to more than 19,000 acres and is now 38% contained. The wildfire has destroyed 21 structures and damaged 3 others. Officials say the blaze is burning in areas that are quite inaccessible, making it harder to contain. Evacuation orders are in place for people whose homes in the path of the fire. And a wildfire near Salinas has prompted mandatory evacuations as well. The river fire broke out early Sunday and has burned more than 37,000 acres and destroyed 6 structures. Some 1,500 structures are still threatened. The Kern County Fire Department says 33 of its firefighters are helping at the Dome, River, and Lake fires.
One of the structures burned in the river fire was home to a Salinas family, a place they never planned to leave. Kyla Linville reports.
In 9 minutes, it took away 6 years of hard work on that house to get it to where it was. It's our dream house.
Efren Ruiz recalls the final moments leading up to his family's departure from their home that was taken in a flash by the river fire.
I called a few friends to come out and help us sort of pack up some stuff, and my wife had some friends that came over to help. Before you know it, the flame was over the hill, and we got out of there as fast as we could. By the time we got to the bottom, it was fully engulfed.
Still processing what's happened, Ruiz didn't want to show his face on camera. Fortunately, he, his wife, and 2 young children made it out safely and are staying with family. Among everything they've endured, Ruiz says the hardest part of all of this will be breaking the news to his 3-year-old daughter.
She's going to want to go home, and I'm going to have to explain to her that we can't go home because there is no home. I feel like I'm dreaming. Like I'm going to wake up and I'm going to be in my house. I hope I wake up and I'm in my home, and this never really happened.
The Board of Supervisors is set to meet today. On the agenda, a request to buy personal protective equipment, also known as PPE, to distribute to at-risk people in Kern County, starting today through December. Another request to create a COVID-19 nonprofit economic support grant program to increase ICU capacity in hospitals. We'll bring you updates about these 2 agenda items later today. Be sure to watch 17 News at 5. The presidential campaign season is in full swing this morning, with President Trump on the road this week and Democrats set to officially nominate Joe Biden today. Tracy Potts has a look at how Decision 2020 played out on the first night of the DNC.
But the fact is, the bad ones have to be.
Just ahead of his official nomination tonight, Joe Biden makes a surprise appearance on the virtual DNC stage with a word on racial justice.
We just got to keep pushing. We can't let up.
His wife Jill and former President Bill Clinton speak tonight, continuing the convention theme of party unity. Monday's kickoff featured former First Lady Michelle Obama, setting the stage for November's election.
If you think things cannot possibly get worse, trust me, they can. We have got to vote for Joe Biden like our lives depend on it.
4 prominent Republicans made the case for Biden and running mate Kamala Harris.
I'm a longtime Republican. For me, the choice is simple. I'm with Joe.
Joe Biden is a man for our times.
This isn't about a Republican or Democrat. It's about a person decent enough, stable enough, strong enough to get our economy back on track.
Meantime, President Trump is on a week-long campaign swing, still railing against universal mail voting.
We have to win the election. We can't play games. Get out and vote.
The president insisting he's not trying to slow down mail service.
No, not at all. Wouldn't do that.
Just before the election.
The president continues campaigning this week in Arizona and Scranton, Pennsylvania, the hometown of Joe Biden and a critical swing state. Tracy Potts, NBC News.
The St. Louis couple who pointed guns at protesters is expected to speak at the Republican National Convention next week. Patricia and Mark McCloskey drew national attention in late June. This after they were seen in a viral video brandishing guns outside their mansion at Black Lives Matter protesters. The McCloskeys were charged in July with unlawful use of a weapon, a Class E felony. The White House has defended the couple on multiple occasions. President Trump said it is absolutely absurd what's happening to the McCloskeys.
Many students will be back online for at least part of the fall semester. The ongoing coronavirus pandemic is forcing some schools to shut their doors, sometimes just days after opening. John Lawrence reports.
The University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill is hitting the brakes on in-person classes for undergraduates, moving online starting Wednesday.
I only moved in last Friday.
This decision comes after a rash of COVID-19 cases are confirmed on campus.
I think the right move from the university initially was to not open at all, because back in July, the chancellor sent out emails saying their numbers weren't where they wanted them to be.
More than 1,600 miles away, over 150 students at Colorado College are in quarantine due to possible exposure.
The only thing that I think we don't know is at what point these schools start to shut down again. The virus is still spreading. I mean, this is not the time to open up. I mean, and I don't know if I sound like a crazy person saying that or not, but that is the truth.
The number of known COVID-19 cases in the U.S. doubles roughly every 2 months, according to Johns Hopkins University, and health experts say the country needs to be proactive.
Clearly, we need new testing. We need to be able to scale up testing so that everyone who needs testing, who wants testing, can get it. Schools and colleges can use testing as part of their strategy.
If 95% of the country just simply wore masks at this point, it would start to bend this curve downward and save tens of thousands of lives.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Now, 23 members of a sorority house at Oklahoma State University have tested positive for COVID-19. University officials say that nearly 24 women are living in the off-campus Pi Beta Phi house. Now, due to the severity of the situation, the entire chapter is in isolation or quarantine. The university is also contract tracing and notifying others who potentially have been exposed. A third-party contractor has been brought in to disinfect the facility and will return after the 2-week isolation period.
Pretty crazy, honestly. You know, it's happening so quickly, like right when we move in on campus, less than a month, and we have those type of numbers. It's a little scary. Yeah, it's a little scary.
Severe weather passed through Arizona Monday, damaging a COVID-19 testing facility. Heavy winds hit the COVID-19 testing facility at a community college. You can see the framing from the facility is now just a pile of twisted metal. The COVID-19 testing facility was a free testing site run by Embry Women's Health. The organization says all of its employees are safe, but 3 of their 7 testing facilities are, quote, obliterated. Despite that, officials say the testing site should be up and running by this afternoon.
As the school year approaches, one Northern California school is returning to the classroom. Brian Hickey has more.
It's the first day of school at Jackson Elementary in El Dorado Hills. Here, kids get to go back to class.
I really miss my friends a lot. Well, I like that my friends are at school, and that I get to learn a lot of stuff.
The Rescue Union School District is in El Dorado County, a county not on the state's COVID-19 watch list.
It's a privilege. It's a privilege to be able to come back. Our county is not on the watch list, so we're very, very fortunate to have this opportunity. We've taken it very seriously.
The students have been divided into morning and afternoon sessions. Each will go to school half day and do the rest distance learning. This keeps class sizes small for social distancing.
Children are staggered in the classroom so they don't sit next to another child for their instruction, and they're assigned the same seat for the year so they don't change seats. And again, all the surfaces and chairs, faucets, handles, everything is disinfected midday. All the playground equipment is disinfected midday, and it's assigned specifically to a class.
Parents are excited to send their kids back to school. Many more concerned if they had to keep them home.
He's a little social butterfly, so staying at home and not seeing his friends was really difficult.
Given the alternative, the kids don't mind the masks and all of the other new rules.
I think it's fine because it slows down the spread. Because I get to see my friends who are going to school.
Not everybody came back to school. The district offered a distance learning option. At this school, around 100 families opted to learn at home. The teachers, the students, and the parents remain keenly aware that if there's a spike in the numbers, they could be forced back into distance learning. In El Dorado Hills, Brian Hickey, KCRA 3 News.
If your child still needs vaccinations, Adventist Health is still holding a clinic. Now, free immunizations will be available through mobile units today at the Adventist Health parking lot located at 2800 Chester Avenue from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. Those shots are free for children who have no health insurance, for families on Medi-Cal, or for Native children. Call the number on your screen ahead of time if you'd like to go. Any child older than 5 will need an appointment. And you can give the gift of life today. Houchin Community Blood Bank and the city of Tehachapi are teaming up for a community-wide blood drive. It's happening at the Tehachapi Valley Recreation and Parks District's west parking lot from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. today. These organizations have been working together since the beginning of the pandemic. Blood supply is low, and they need your help to fill that void. All appointment times have been filled, but you can still walk up and donate blood. If you can't make it to Tehachapi, you can visit another Houchin location closest to you. Visit hcbb.com to schedule an appointment. And if you can't make it to Tehachapi today, Houchin's mobile unit will be in Bakersfield tomorrow at the Capital Dental Group office. The drive will be held at Capital's parking lot on Camino Media. Houchin says all donors will be screened for COVID-19 antibodies. You can schedule an appointment ahead of time on their website. Now that's happening from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Education news now. A local elementary school teacher is being honored for all of the work he does in the classroom. Mr. Emiliano Rios Infante has been selected for the Fulbright Teachers for Global Classrooms Program grant. Infante, who teaches at Charles H. Castle Elementary School in Bakersfield, is one of 71 people who will travel abroad for the International Educational Exchange Program. Fulbright grants are selected on the basis of academic and professional achievement, as well as record of service and demonstrated leadership potential. It allows that person to study, teach, conduct research, exchange ideas with the international community. Big congratulations. And the Kern High School District is detailing its meal distribution plan for the fall. Drive-through meal handouts begin this Friday. Each high school will distribute meals Tuesdays and Fridays from 1 to 2:30 p.m. and at Nueva Continuation High School from 2 to 3 p.m. KHSD has federally funded meal programs, the Community Eligibility Program and the National School Lunch Programs. Schools involved in the CEP program will serve breakfast, lunch, and snack on Tuesdays, along with dinner on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Schools with the NSL program will serve breakfast, lunch, and snack Tuesday for the rest of the week. Students must have their school ID in order to pick up a meal. KGET and Dignity Health are working with the Bakersfield Homeless Center to make sure every child has the supplies they need for the upcoming school year with our annual backpack drive. This time, KGET is not accepting donations here at our station. We're asking everyone to instead drop off supplies at the Homeless Center. Even though lessons are online, kids still need traditional supplies. That includes backpacks, notebooks, pencils, markers, clothing, and more. Drop off your donations or just donate money online. Donations are being accepted through Thursday. For more information, visit our website, kget.com. And we're back this morning. Changes coming to the popular Ellen DeGeneres show. It comes after allegations of a toxic work environment. 3 of the show's top producers, Ed Glavin, Kevin Lehman, and Jonathan Norman, have left the show. DeGeneres said an internal investigation had been launched into the allegations. She said, quote, "We're taking steps together to correct the issues." The show's distributor, Warner Brothers Television, is owned by CNN's parent company, Warner Media. CNN has reached out to DeGeneres for further comment.
Some Newport Beach, California residents experienced an up-and-close personal experience of a version of the Discovery Channel's Shark Week on Friday. A thresher shark swarmed into the shallow waters near the Balboa Pier, causing lifeguards to jump into action. Beachgoers were told to get out of the water. The lifeguards were able to grab the 6-foot shark by the tail and pull it out of the water. The shark had apparently been injured and had to be euthanized. A second shark was captured and taken out to sea. The director of the Shark Lab at Cal State Long Beach says it's not uncommon for thresher sharks to come close to the shore this time of year. Fortunately, no one was injured.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning. The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.